Greetings to everyone at the beginning of exciting events. Namely, a group of international scientists has announced that they have found possible traces of highly advanced civilizations in space. Are you surprised? Of course, I am too. Various charlatans have often hinted at such a possibility, but for a group of scientists to make such a statement, this is the first time I can remember. But let's start from the beginning. To understand what exactly the scientists found, we need a bit of theory.
Freeman John Dyson, who lived from 1923 to 2020, was an eminent British-American physicist and mathematician, known for his numerous contributions to quantum electrodynamics, astrophysics, applied mathematics, and other fields of science. One of his most famous hypotheses is the concept of the Dyson sphere.
Dyson believed that the development of a civilization requires the use of more and more energy. This is quite obvious. We can observe such a trend in the development of our civilization. Only a few hundred years have passed, and we are already unable to manage without gigawatts of electricity. Recall the recent statements of some scientists that developing artificial superintelligence requires more and more energy. Terrestrial living organisms need to crunch the bodies of related species to sustain life, and superintelligences need electricity. And where can it be obtained in space? One option is to convert the planet's matter into energy through atomic decay. This is great, but then where to live and what to build the infrastructure from? Matter in space is somewhat scarce. So the only option is to use the energy of the nearest star. It has enough mass, and the processes of energy release are self-sustaining. We just need to collect that energy. Dyson rightly reasoned that there is a high probability that advanced civilizations will build structures to collect the star's energy. These could be some artificial satellites orbiting the star, or some panels, mirrors, or even entirely enclosing the area around the star with collectors. Obviously, there would have to be a lot of them, and they should significantly cover the star. Otherwise, there is no point in building ways to deliver energy to consumers. But there are certain physical laws that say systems absorbing energy must emit part of the energy as heat. This cannot be avoided. In other words, just heating up. And these panels would have to emit a lot of radiation precisely in the infrared range. Dyson proposed searching for traces of advanced civilizations based on these signs. I became curious about how to distinguish the thermal radiation of a relatively cold star from the radiation of a Dyson sphere. It turns out that in the course of observations, scientists have long classified stars by type, age, size, and clearly see anomalies if they exist. A Dyson sphere can be sought using such signs or anomalies.
Intense infrared radiation, much more intense than a star of a particular type would have. Structural differences from an ordinary star. For example, ring-shaped sources of infrared radiation around a star. Accompanying signs, other light sources near the star, radio signals, and more.
So scientists gathered data about stars from 3 large telescopes that work precisely in the infrared range for analysis. How many stars do you think were analyzed? 5 million. Information about 5 million stars was processed by artificial intelligence, which identified 7 anomalies with signs similar to the Dyson sphere. These anomalies concerned an extraordinarily high amount of infrared radiation. And that's not all. The fact is that similar signs, such as too strong infrared radiation, can also indicate a dust disk around a star or other phenomena. But scientists checked all these signs, and in this case, such nuances were not present. That is, it was impossible to explain such intensity of radiation by natural causes. Another interesting detail, all the objects belong to red dwarfs, and these are small stars, smaller than the Sun, cooler and with weaker luminosity. This may indicate greater energy needs of those civilizations living near them, hence the higher probability of building a Dyson sphere. Of course, it may also indicate as yet unexplored properties of red dwarfs. So it's not time to drink champagne yet, but let's not be disappointed either. Scientists proposed using more serious telescopes to observe these objects, namely James Webb, so we eagerly await the news. As if we didn't have enough artificial intelligences, now aliens have arrived, said the cat Martin, and tired of this grand phrase, went off to grab a bite.